Hello YouTube, this is Zeroed In, coming to you again with a game of Domination. I don't do Domination very much because I don't particularly care for objective games, and when I do, I prefer to play them with some of my real friends, just because a lot of times you get put on teams that people don't focus on objectives at all. Now, I know I'm a little bit guilty of not entirely focusing on the objectives in this game either, but at the same time, this is a match where I was going for Ghost Pro, and the only thing I had left to do on it was to destroy an enemy sentry gun. And that is a lot harder than it sounds, mostly just because nobody uses the sentry gun, which is a lot of people's complaint about about that particular challenge. But overall, it's still somewhat easy to get, I would say. I think you need to destroy like 50 pieces of enemy aircraft and then destroy one enemy sentry gun. So what you can do is actually call in a sentry gun for yourself, but then just have an enemy take out the enemy, and then take out the sentry gun that they stole from you, and that counts as well. That also is a lot harder to do than just having the enemy get one in the first place, but that is eventually what happened. It doesn't happen in this game. This is more or less just something amusing that happened on the way to Ghost Pro. But nevertheless, I got it. I think either the game after this or the next game after, something like that. I can't really remember, but it's not really too important. So as per usual, you guys know what I like to do. I like to talk about tactics, and in this game, I'm really pushing a lot of running around and pointless nothingness. As you can see, I'm dying pretty carelessly, but I think looking back, you can still learn a little something from this, and that's mostly just because in Domination, it's easier to play aggressive with stealth-typed guns, just because the enemies tend to have fixed spawn points, and there are a lot more of them, so it really increases your chances to get the drop on them, and increases your chances of getting big kill streaks. I think this is why a lot of people play Domination or Ground War, some of the objective games, because they know that people won't be focused on killing enemies as much as they'll be focused on the objectives, and therefore they use that to kind of pad their stats. Now in Black Ops, they've done something that I think is excellent for the series, and that is that they finally decided to separate out the stats for the different game modes, and no longer, at least as far as I could see, I don't think you can see your kill-death ratio in objective games. The only time you can see your kill-death ratio, as far as I could see, was in free-for-all or team deathmatch, which I think, provided that's true, I do think that's a step in the right direction, because you'll finally have people not bragging about their kill-death ratio while they're camping in Domination, and it's really kind of cheap. Getting a big score in Domination is not nearly as hard as it is in something like Team Deathmatch. So I do think people used to use objective games to pad their stats. In fact, I know people used to do that. And I'd even see a lot of YouTube commentators playing nothing but things like Ground War and Domination, and then posting these somewhat good scores. They'd have 60 and 10 or 60 and 5 or something like that, and that's really not all that great. I would even say that this score for me is not all that great, especially ratio-wise. I've certainly done quite a bit better in something like Team Deathmatch. But I don't know. I can't hate on it too much, I guess. But as you can see, I'm not even really trying to go for the objectives all that much in this game. Now, you don't have to necessarily go for the objectives all the time if you're making a good effort at suppressing the enemy, which I think I'm kind of doing here. So one could make the argument that I'm doing the exact thing that I hate, and to be honest, I don't really care. I guess the thing is, I don't post Domination videos and objective game videos all the time, This is a pretty rare thing for me, so it was just something I thought was amusing. So let's talk about the gun here. This is the Commando assault rifle. It is 30 round magazine standard, fairly random recoil. For some reason, when I first started playing the game, I saw other people using Commando, and it just looked really overpowered. And then I got it for myself, and then all of a sudden I noticed that the recoil was really strange, and I kind of realized to myself, well, maybe it is a lot more balanced than I expected, and sure enough, it is. It's stat-wise very similar to the AK-47, with the exception of the recoil. Recoil seems to be somewhat low, but at medium to extreme ranges it can get a little bit out of control. And it has kind of a random pattern to it. It kind of goes in S, or some sort of weird circular thing that it does. So sometimes it can work really well for you at close range, but then at long range it'll kind of fail up a little bit, and I'm not really sure why that is. I really think it's just the fact that the recoil is so strange. But alright, so getting back to what I'm actually doing here in the game, I'm playing really aggressively compared to some of the other games I've played. And in Domination, you can, like I said before, you can get away with that because the enemy has fixed spawn points, so you can get up into their spawn and pretty much know that they're gonna keep spawning there. So, to be honest with you, I don't have a ton more information to talk about with this video. I wish I had more of a strategy to what's going on here, but to be completely fair and honest, I didn't going into this match. I just kind of ran around willy-nilly. I did push into their spawn, like I said before, but there's not that much else to talk about, so I guess I'll just go ahead and take the time to mention the fact that I've been communicating back and forth with Pyropuncher, aka Paul, one of our friendly Irish commentators. He's a really good guy, and at least I'm pretty sure he's Irish. I don't want to I don't want to say the wrong thing here, but he's a great guy. I've known him for a couple of years now, actually, and he was one of the original YouTube commentators, along with myself, back when we all played Call of Duty 4. And he will be hosting a video that I feel does have a lot of important tactics and strategies and that sort of thing that you can learn from it. So make sure you look for that soon. I'll have plenty more videos to be posted shortly on my channel as well, so keep an eye out for that. 58 and 5, that's the game.